Hello, everyone. Good morning. Good afternoon. Um, we are really happy to be here today with a new webinar for the new year. So my name is Anna Carrozza. Most of you know me. I'm the Customer Success Manager for Careermine, and I'm really happy to be your host today for the webinar. I'm also here with Asad, our guest of the day. He is our Senior Product Manager.
Hi, everyone. It's nice to be here and, just start the new year on the right foot.
So today's session, we will be exploring CareerMind's best practices to optimize your recruitment strategy. And we will be sharing also a quick roadmap for what we're working on next year. So 2025 is actually this year. We'll cover the best practices, the key features that we have, like the resume database and the employer hubs. Enhancing your recruitment also with the ATS integration and some premium job listings. So we will go step by step and show you that. And also a sneak peek of our 2025 roadmap, what we're working on and what we will go and launch this year. Let's get started then. Asad, up to you.
Sounds good. Just gonna share my screen. Okay, so like Anna pointed out, because this is the first one in the series, we do want to cover everything that we have done up to the point that relates to the 2025 roadmap, and just cover some of the best practices that we have on CareerMine. Before we go into the specifics of it, I just want to make sure that we've put our vision for 2025 and as a whole across. Of course, we're all aware of the fact that there's a shortage within the professionals in the mining industry, and there's this gap in terms of the people who are retiring and in terms of the people who are joining the industry. And a lot of that has to do with a lot of things that we do not control, but we do want to make sure that we're the enablers when it comes to building incredible teams for employers. We have this overarching vision to make mining better for people. So we want to make sure that we're playing our part in making mining better for people. Let's have a look at the CareerMine audience that we have right now, just to ground the presentation. So we've got almost like 400,000 average monthly page views. Then we've got more than 91,000 sessions on average in a month. We've got more than 90,000 monthly job views on average as well. So all of the jobs that are posted on a platform, they typically would get more than 90,000 views in a month. We've got almost 90K active job seekers on our platform. So these are the people who are registered with Careermine. We've got more than 19,000 resumes in the database. This is all the active people who are actually on the job hunt, and we see them as actively participating on Careermine as well. The response rate that we have, that's higher than industry standards right now. There aren't many niche job boards that are out there which are overtaking Careermine in terms of that type of reach. And just to touch on in terms of LinkedIn, for example, the response rate that you'd see typically from them for technical or industry specific roles would be lower than this one. We of course got a newsletter as well where we often talk about some of the more pressing issues within mining, and we share some of the jobs that our employers have within that as well. And we've got more than 20,000 subscribers to that. We send out more than 925,000 monthly job alerts. The average session time, that's 4 minutes and 9 seconds. That points to how engaged the visitor is. And the higher the number, of course, the better it is. At this point, I'd like to pause and, because there was a lot of info that I just shared, if there are any questions, I'd be happy to take them right now. And
we do have a question, actually.
Okay, yeah, let's go to it.
Yeah, so does this CareerMine audience prefer Canada or global?
So this is the global CareerMine audience. This comprises, of candidates all over the world. So these are numbers from across the globe.
Let me see if there is a new. Yep, there's one more question. Do you track the average age of resumes in database? And how do you define active job seekers?
Active, that's a great question, first of all. In terms of tracking the average age of resumes, we do track that. And the majority of the resumes that are in here are not more than 6 months old. And how we define active is people who are on the database and are consistently applying for either applying for jobs or looking at jobs, and they're interacting with Careermine in one way or the other. So that's how we would define active job seekers. So that the number that you see on the screen, the 89K number, they may have a resume in our database. They might have a job alert. So they could subscribe to any Careermine service as long as they're actively participating in it. They would, they would be a part of this number.
Okay, no more questions for now.
Sounds good. Going forward, what I will do is I'll talk about some of the best practices. So we, of course, have the resume database with Careermine, a tool that you all have at your disposal. Some of the key things that are important to remember when utilizing the resume database are the ones that are listed here. So, for example, in keywords, this is where you would, for example, put in something and just try to get the right result out there. We can look at put in any sort of keywords and see whatever resumes come up with. I can try one, for example. Let's see. Maybe. You'll see the type of resumes that I'll get. So, for example, what this signifies is this number of people, 8,570, have mining engineer on their resume. So it could be, let's say, for example, that they worked as a mining engineer, but then it could also mean that they were, for example, on a project which included a mining engineer. Then, for example, you can, let's say, set up resume alerts for yourself. You can give certain criteria to the system, and then whenever there is a new resume that matches that criteria, you'll get an email about the candidate that or the candidates who have joined the database. So even in terms of filtering, for example, you want all matching resumes. For example, some resumes might also already be there in the shortlist that, if an employer has been using the system for a while, there are resumes that they would favorite. And of course, you've got, all the filters that are here. There's other search options underneath here as well that just kind of, make it easy for you to find the candidate or candidates that you're looking for. Right. Of course, our employers have the option of, just going for the premium job listings that are available to them. The benefits of them, of course, is the distinct job ad by itself. So it appears very differently compared to all the job ads that are there. The job seekers have a higher chance of interacting with it. And of course, the better ad placement also, converts, into improved engagement, which of course is a function of the premium job listings. I'll quickly show you what it looks like as an example. If we were to go to it. So what I've done here essentially is I went to Careermine and I went to jobs. Right here, then I selected one category at random. So I chose engineering. So the way the jobs stand out is you'll see all of these jobs right here, and then you'll see this job as a premium job. So because it stands out differently, we consistently see that the job ad performs better than the other, ads that are out there. Another feature that we have for employers are the employer hubs or mini sites. It's a way essentially to show organizational culture. That's something that you can achieve through utilizing the employer hubs that are there. And there's the additional option of, better and more advanced branding. I'll show you what I mean by the branding. Okay, let's go here. So here's an example of a mini site that we have with one of our customers. And as you see, they've created they've created this web page here. And of course, we provide all the support that's there to just create the web page. We create this by ourselves. We would only ask you for the text and the images, and of course the review that goes before we finalize it. Here's a very small, introduction of the company, a snapshot of what they do, photos from their actual mines, which is a very big motivator for people, as I'm sure most of you would be already aware of this, that if we were to, for example, put real people out there in your communication, it has a higher chance of generating interest from job seekers and candidates out there. So they'd, for example, put on their values video, their links to their pages and everything. And, we can navigate to, for example, what Metsonites, as they like to call themselves, what they would do, for example, just a few things that, that Metso pride itself on and would want to make sure that candidates or job seekers understand how it is like working at a specific company through this. And you'd see everything in there as well. Like, these pages could be, of course, customized. We can have as many number of pages and as many types of pages, for example, that the employer wants. We can brand the pages that are here differently, make the company in itself stand out, and make sure that whatever the employer is trying to convey, that gets conveyed in a manner that is, best received by the candidates and the job seekers out there. Let's go back to our slide deck. One last point that I want to make about the best practices is the integrations that we have. What this essentially does is makes our lives and the lives of our employers much easier, because it just, it reduces the number of manual steps that are required to publish jobs on Careermine. And we've, of course, got direct integrations with a lot of different job aggregators. If you post through SuccessFactors, for example, we can connect directly with an XML. If you're doing a daily feed update, any changes that are made onto your corporate careers page would be reflected the next day on Careermine without any requirement or any need for example, someone to go in and manually review or check for anything. Change gears a little bit and talk briefly about the roadmap. So what I want to cover here is something that we've already made, and we're going to be making improvements to the role insights piece. So I'll show you the role insights piece quickly and then talk about the AI pieces out there. So if you navigate to careermine.com, you'll see this role insights tab right here. And it would show you the number of roles that are being utilized for this. So what we're doing here essentially is we're using machine learning algorithms to create career paths for the jobs that have a bigger presence on Careermine. So we've got this cutoff where if there's X jobs of this title, we would consider that a significant, population, and then we would use that data to create this career path. We would concurrently look at the resumes that we have in a database and create paths from there. So let's say, for example, someone was in a role and then they moved to a different role, and if that journey is shared by 10 other people, then that would be shown on the path. As an example, I'll just use the mining engineer one route here. So if we go into the mining engineer piece, so you'll see that this is typically the salary that's paid to a mining engineer per year. These are the job openings over the past 6 months on Careermine, and this is the trend that's out there for these jobs. And this is the career path that I was talking about. So this is pulled from CVs of mining engineers that we have in a resume database. So one path, for example, would look like this. You graduate from a mining engineer degree, you spend a year in this role, then you become this. You become an intern or you become a trainee, and then this is the path that you would, for example, follow. Once again, this is the salary for mining engineer jobs. This is only for the US because it's kind of a confidence score. So we only pull in from geographical locations where we're confident that it is reflecting a significant piece of the pie. These are the skills and expertise that were required from a mining engineer. This is, for example, the education, the qualifications, for example, the recruitment trends on Careermine for the past 6 months, for example. This is from June to December, and you'll see a few jobs underneath here as well. Just so if we are able to generate interest with a visitor, they've got a handy way to look at some of the related job ads. Let's go back to the roadmap then. So we're working on a few experiments, AI experiments right now. For Careermine customers, they're aware of the fact that we've brought in a personal learning assistant, which of course is powered by Gen AI. So seems the case here. So one of the things that we see is because we have a lot of data on job descriptions, we were looking into just venturing into just helping our customers with that as well. So think of it this way. Let's say, for example, an employer is considering of opening a job ad. They can either rely on the previous job ads that they've created or get insight from us in terms of what would fly better with job seekers. We're also working on a more just a better way to search the resume database as well. Right now, you have to put in filters and you have to be just mindful of using those filters and just winnow down from just the numbers that, for example, we saw there. What we're working towards is creating an assistant for that as well. So let's say you want to hire in a certain location and you've got a criteria that you have in mind, you can quickly pop that into the chat box that would be there, and the chat box would give you the most recent 3 resumes that were created for a mining engineer. So that's another experiment that we're working towards. Let's say, for example, if you want the bot to go into a certain CV and find something that's there for you before you, for example, go and download that CV. So all those kinds of things which would save you time too.
If there is any question, feel free to, drop your question on the Q&A, raise your hand, ask the question. Wait, I think there is a question. So yes, the question is, I'm curious about the geographical reporting capabilities moving forward. In the past, we've appreciated receiving insights into where our traffic is coming from on a global scale. For future reports, does Careermine have the capability to drill down to a more granular level, specifically on a national level, for example, Canada-based traffic?
Oh yeah, absolutely. So going forward, we want to be as granular as we can, because what that would enable us to do is just make sure that we are providing as accurate data to our customers as possible. So right now, for example, we can definitely, go on a national level. For example, there's places where we can go on a state level, for example, in the US, or on the provincial level in Canada as well. So that's why the automated reporting that you receive would only be looking at all of the candidates. And of course, if you would want to have a national level breakdown, for example, or a provincial level one, we'd be happy to just, create those kinds of reports for you. And going forward, you will receive, that kind of data. And of course, for one-off reports, you have the option of just letting Anna know, and we'd be more than happy to just provide that type of data to you.
Okay, so awesome. Thank you everyone for your time today. I hope the session was good for you as well as it was for us. Have a good day.
Thanks everyone.
Bye.
Bye now.